Well, an unexpected end to that innings just when we started building up, talking about the big finish that Mumbai normally have in their last 5 or 6 overs. It was just the opposite. A fifer for Andre Russell to finish with. Just remember, before the other night, no bowler in history of this tournament had taken 5 wickets against the Mumbai Indians, and now it's been twice in a couple of nights. There it is, 5 for 15. Mumbai bowled out for 152 of the last ball of their 20th over. To look back on everything, here we are on Cricbuzz Live, brought to you in association with our fantasy partner, My 11 Circle. Harsha, I'll come straight to you. I mean, we see records normally tumbling in the other direction. We saw many 4s and 6s and 100 last night. How different was this? A 5-for coming in, bowling the 18th and the 20th.
I mean, after what Harshad Patel did, they're all queuing up to bowl the last over against Mumbai. It's like plucking fruit off a tree. I think KKR had the perfect bowling attack for these conditions. And I thought, Morgan used it just brilliantly. First 5 overs, all spin. And then see how he used Cummins, holding Cummins back to have a go at Hardik. And that's the plan now. Russell will only bowl 2 overs. He'll go round the wicket like a left arm over and bowl like a left arm over line wide of the stumps. And I thought he used his spinners beautifully. Harbhajan bowled 2 overs. And I think it's a little unfair now to have Harbhajan on the boundary. I mean, he tried hard to stop the ball, but some things... don't wait for time and tide, as they say. But I thought Morgan used it brilliantly. And the reason I think KKR are ahead at this stage is because I'm not sure Mumbai have the attack that is as varied and as suitable to the conditions as KKR.
But Joy, I think Harsha pointed out it's one thing to have the attack and it's another thing to use them at the right times. We talked about in the pre-show, we mentioned Cummins will not bowl beyond the 15th. Today it came on for number 16 and then he used Prasidh Krishna and Andre Russell as per plan at the end and the spinners in the beginning.
Absolutely, and they bowled brilliantly. They played every matchup. Shakib up front to sort of stifle the bowling, stifle the batting. Then what happens? You have Varun Chakravarti, somebody will take, they will just go after him. So look at it. Even when Mumbai thought they've got away, they scored about 80 odd for 1 and they're looking really good. They come back. Cummins gets wickets for them and they again stifle them. And that's the beauty of it. Andre Russell has become a very, very smart death bowler. They knew that Prasidh Krishna and Varun Chakravarti would be attacked. So Prasidh Krishna went for runs, but he got an important wicket as well. And Varun Chakravarti, because he was used early, they just couldn't attack him enough. I think KKR played matchup. I think KKR was better prepared to bowl at Mumbai than Mumbai were to bat at KKR. I mean, whatever happens from here on, it could be a different matter altogether. But I thought they were more prepared about what they needed to do against him.
So strange innings as well, Gautam. Very strange innings that... Rohit Sharma bats into the 16th over. He's played 1/3 the number of deliveries. I can understand that happening for the period while Surya Kumar Yadav was there, because when Surya Kumar Yadav was there, he brought his own pitch with him. And he sort of laid it out and he played separately on it. When he got out, he took it back with him and went away. He was playing on a different surface. That 6, I can see 100 times. I promise you. I'm not just throwing a number. I can see that 6 100 times and still want to see it more often. But look at what happens on either side. The free-stroking players, Quinton de Kock, Ishan Kishan done in a little bit. Hardik Pandya done in by the pace. And I'll tell you, those 15, 16 runs Krunal Pandya scored at the end from 126 for 7 to 152 might just be crucial if they get bogged down and start losing wickets, Kolkata. Because, at the moment, I still think they're a little short. I think they're good 10 to 15 to 20 short. But they need early wickets and those 15-20 runs could be absolutely crucial.
Yeah, it was a strange one from Rohit Sharma. You did expect, because like with any great partnership, and here we're talking about the Rohit-Surya partnership, you really do expect that, okay, Rohit's allowed Surya Kumar to play first fiddle, as it were, because he was going well. But you did think he changed gear, Joy, after the partnership was done and Surya Kumar did get out.
Yeah, I think he just got out. Rohit, as you can make out from that partnership, that he was definitely farming the strikeout to Surya. The point was he got out immediately then. I mean, that was the genius of what Kolkata did very well. Every time after that, after Surya got out, every time they thought that they were going to get away, somebody comes and takes a wicket. And every plan of theirs works. Look at Ishan Kishan. Everyone knows, the entire, the cricket fraternity knows he's a compulsive hooker. Give it to him out there. Who's standing in the boundary? The tallest man in the KKR team. The tallest guy is standing there in the boundary because, if the ball's going to fly, it could fly high. There's a lot of planning that goes into all this. And look, it doesn't work all the time. But when it works, it feels really sweet to the people behind the planning because they say, you know what? It worked exactly as we thought. He went for it. Cummins got it.
Yeah, and also, Harsha, when we had the situation of Hardik Pandya, who was expected to come and do the hard work at the end. We know what Mumbai can do in the last 5 or 6, but they had a plan to him as well. Cummins coming in there, short, into the body, cramping him for room. And you could see he's almost looking and saying, that was not nice.
Yeah. No, and eventually the slowness of the surface that got him. The moment Prasidh Krishna came in, that was meant to be his release, right? The ball's coming at the right pace, let me go for it. It was a slow ball that got him. Just as Prasidh Krishna got someone else out of the slow ball the other day, didn't he? That 92 kilometers an hour ball that he got, that he bowled. So he started to bowl the slow ball well. And yeah, so at every stage, it seemed as if Morgan had the right bowlers. I mean, getting 2 from Harbhajan out that allowed him to leave Russell for two at the end. So far, it's been a wonderful exhibition of planning and the bowlers going out and executing the plan. Now you have to see if Mumbai have the bowlers. Don't be surprised if Pollard bowls a little bit. I don't know about Hardik. That's one of the great mysteries of our times. You don't know if he's going to bowl or he's not going to bowl. But don't be surprised if Pollard bowls a couple of overs. And if Hardik bowls, he'll bowl a bit like the Cummins' slow balls. It just take pace off the ball. So expect a little bit of that. But I still think that KKR had the better spinners in this game than Mumbai, unless, of course, KKR bat badly and Mumbai spinners do well. But that's my impression at this stage.
But Joy, if you go back to Dre Russ, it obviously was part of the plan. He knew he was expecting to bowl. That he admitted at the end of the game or the end of the innings that it can also be a tough time. You can come and bowl 2 overs for 30 runs, but you also have a chance to pick wickets. And I reckon, as he admitted, that no matter all the other 4 wickets that he got, yes, some were tail-ender swinging, was Kieron Pollard, because that was a wicket that went to plan across him, and Pollard fell for it.
No, absolutely. And look, there is a rivalry out there, with Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago. There is a huge rivalry out there. And they've been sort of leading all-rounders for both their countries. So there's a lot going on. I mean, it's fun as well. They'll smile at each other, maybe have a drink afterwards. But there is an edge there. And look, I want somebody to go and look at the stats books and says, when has, in a T20 or an IPL match or a league match, has somebody come on the 18th over as the first over and got a 5 And I can't remember it happening in the IPL, certainly.
There was one over. There were 5 wickets in that over. Was it a Mohammad Amir over in the T20 World Cup? But there were runouts in there, a couple of runouts or 1 or 2 runouts. But there were 5 wickets in an over.
But Amish would have bowled up front. So he probably may not have started bowling in the 18th.
I think it might have been. Yeah, correct. Oh, yeah, of course. We're not just looking at 5 wickets in the last 2 overs. So someone who started bowling in the 18th. Yeah, fair call.
But I can also tell you, to put things in perspective of today, it happened to be 5 wickets to Andre Russell. But have a quick look at what's happened in death over batting. We often talk about death bowling. What about death batting, something that's Mumbai's speciality? In this tournament so far, 31 for 6, Mumbai against Bangalore. 42 for 5, Kolkata against Hyderabad. 38 for 7, Mumbai against Kolkata. That says something.
When I saw the draw, I said, yeah, someone's made a draw to stop MI. 5 matches in Chennai, 4 matches in Delhi. But if you want to be a champion side, then you've got to go and win matches elsewhere, right? You have Federer, you've still got to win on clay. So you've got to go out and play. You can't only play on grass courts all your life. So this is going to be the test. Truth be told, the record in Chennai against Chennai has been fantastic, but they're still struggling. But let's hold our positions a little bit. There's another side's got to bat on it.
Yeah, and it's that kind of total joy. No matter what momentum you have, no matter how celebratory the mood was when they walked off with that Russell 5, they still have to tell themselves it's not exactly 110. it is still a halfway decent total.
No, it's a tricky total. It's a tricky total because you can't just smash everything because there's you've got to play with caution, but at the same time you can't get yourself too far behind the run rate because you're still at 7.5 overs what you're chasing. So it's somewhere in between. But I think what Kolkata will be doing now is telling the first three to play exactly the same way. They tell them, you know what you did in match one, just do that again. Don't worry. You finish, if it finishes in the 15th, it finishes in the 15th. Just go and play your game. After that, if course correction has to be done, if you have to slow down, a few wickets go down, let the experienced guy, the Dinesh Kartiks, the Morgans, they will control the game after that. But they'll tell the first three, go out and if he can smash MI, excellent. If he can't also, it doesn't matter, but go play your natural game.
Would someone like a Pollard be instructed to carry a sort of piece of paper with the Nitish Rana diagram up and down with him and just sort of walk alongside him and goes, this looks familiar? It's a quick reminder of that. Not that we want to do that. We're just in all fairness putting these down because they are astounding numbers. I mean, 3 first ball ducks sandwiched between 3 outstanding innings.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, 5 of those were earlier. 5 of those were in Abu Dhabi and Dubai, whereas it's only 1 year so far. But I tell you what, it'll go down as one of the great statistical oddities if he gets out the first ball duck. But I'm not a betting man, but I won't bet on that.
Fair enough, but assuming that you are, I mean, let's just keep that betting analogy for the moment. Mumbai certainly, Kolkata would be favourites at this stage, but Mumbai would have to pull something out of the bag from this stage.
Yeah, I think it rests on Bumrah and Bolt. Early wickets, Bumrah, Bolt knocking a couple of guys over in the first 6. If they do not get more than 2 or more wickets in the first 6, the game's over. Because it's not a large enough total to defend. Whatever happens, there will be some amount of dew. Okay, the ball might get old, but there will be dew. It won't be easy to grip. I can't see 150 being defended if they don't take a serious amount of early wickets.
Also, Harsha?
There's too much pedigree in that batting to go all the way down.
Pedigree in the batting, but bowling plans. Rohit Sharma would tell himself, I need to make sure all my best bowlers by, say, the 15th over, because 15th, 16th maybe, because this is not going to go down to the last ball of the 20th.
Never know. You never know. If as Joy said, if Kolkata lose early wickets and they start to play par or slightly under par, and next thing you know, they have asking rates 8.5, 9 and over, then I wouldn't be surprised if it goes deep. But Rohit is such a good captain. We talk about Morgan being an outstanding captain. This is probably a matchup of 2 of the finest captains in the modern game. So he will back his instincts, but he will still leave Bumrah. He might just bolt out early. This may not be Bolt's surface, but he'll probably bolt out early. He will keep Bumrah back. But how he uses Bumrah is going to be very interesting. But he needs his 8 overs of slow bowlers to do really well.
Yep. It almost came out like a tongue twister. Bolt. How often do you bolt? We'll try and find a longer sentence for that one. But remember, gents, we got our predictions, of course, completely wrong. We started at 169. We went all the way up to 199. Mumbai didn't get...
A different pitch, though. I'm going to defend ourselves. Different pitch.
Well, if only it was Surya's pitch throughout. I mean, if only he had lent his pitch to the other batsman, as you said. Okay, so since we do, let's keep to tradition before we wrap the show. Power play score for Kolkata, chasing this sort of a total.
41.
47.
41, 47. I can't squeeze in between, so I'm going to go higher than that. I'm going to go for 51. 51, just a little bit higher. 51. Go hard. All hands on deck as far as Kolkata are concerned, but it's all set up beautifully. The bowlers have done it. It's a Dre Russ five for having come into bowl in the 18th over. Lots of history being made. Will there be more history? Will that head-to-head start getting narrower and narrower?
It's the spell has been broken. He's hit a 4 on the first ball.
There you go. I'm glad we waited on the show just for that. No first ball duck for Nitish Rana. That graphic is now out the window, folks. It's not just a survival, it's runs as well. So that's a good way to end the show. But where we will be at the end, we will see you, of course, on Cricbuzz Combox and right at the end of the game as well. This is Cricbuzz Live, brought to you in association with our fantasy partner, My 11 Circle.